What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm talking about the pros and the cons of living in Geneva, New York. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name's Anthony. I'm with the American Home Team here in the Rochester and Finger Lakes region. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video. And with that being said, as much as I love making these videos for you on all things living, breathing, eating, sleeping, playing in the Finger Lakes and Rochester regions, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, that email and that phone number that's popping up on the bottom of your screen, I am the guy that answers those texts, phone calls, and emails. And I absolutely love when you guys reach out. It's pretty cool to see where you guys are moving from. We got some people from out of the country, some people from out of state, and so it's definitely cool that you guys are calling this place home in the foreseeable future. So I am the guy that answers those. Now, with that being said, getting into the video today, we are talking about the pros and the cons of living in Geneva, New York. There definitely are some advantages, and there's definitely some disadvantages. And we're about to talk about that pretty candidly right now. All right, so moving right into it, the first pro of living in Geneva, New York is going to be the beautiful location. Geneva is, in my opinion, is one of the more beautiful towns in the Finger Lakes. It's located on the north end of Seneca Lake, and it's lined completely with vineyards and rolling hills, and obviously you got the lake, Seneca Lake, so it's just an amazing location when it comes to natural beauty. You've got all sorts of outdoor activities like hiking, fishing, boating. You know, you can ice skate sometimes on the lake. You can ice fish on the lake. And then you can go, you know, brewery to brewery, winery to winery. And there's all sorts of wine trails and brewery trails that you can go on. And the trail is more like it's a string of breweries or a string of wineries, if you will. So you're not necessarily walking. It would be a long walk if you did. But there are some of them that you can ride your bike to and from. So, you know, it's definitely worth checking those out. Seneca Lake, I know, is one of my parents' favorite lakes when they're going wine tasting. There's just so much opportunity over there for wine tasting and, again, those breweries and stuff. And a lot of them look out on the lake, and you just get amazing scenery while you're there. So you can go enjoy the time with your friends, looking out on the beautiful scenery of Seneca Lake in Geneva, and it's just a really good time. Inside Geneva, you have a lot of restaurants, bars, things like that for some. I would say there's more nightlife in Geneva than there is definitely in like Canandaigua or some of the other towns surrounding the Finger Lakes. I think Geneva is one of the more towns that is more poppin', I guess, if you want to say that, or whatever the kids say these days. It's definitely more upbeat when it comes to the nightlife. So, but Geneva is one of the most beautiful locations that you can get in the Finger Lakes, bar none. And I would say that that is the number one pro. And, you know, I'm not going to necessarily put these in order, like ranking them 1, 2, 3 or 1 to 5 or whatever. But that is, I think, you know, one of the key attractions to Geneva is the beautiful location, just the picturesque. You know, there's state parks and everything over there. So it's just amazing over there. If you're looking for natural beauty, you got it in Geneva. And so rolling right into a con of that, of the beautiful location, is you have a lot of tourism going on there. And so I would consider that the first con. It's seasonal tourism, especially during the warmer months, the spring, summer, and fall. You have a lot of tourism coming to Geneva in the Geneva area, renting Airbnbs or Verbos, or, you know, there's a bunch of hotels and bed and breakfasts down in Geneva or toward the Geneva area. So seasonally speaking, you're looking at a huge influx of tourism. And they're going to the wineries, they're going to the bars, the breweries, the pubs, the barbecue restaurants, and, you know, what have you. So you're going to experience a lot of congestion in the streets. You're going to experience a lot more traffic. You're going to experience, like, very crowded public places. So you have the public beach park down there, and that's going to be very crowded. You have the Finger Lakes Welcome Center right in the heart of Geneva. That's going to be very crowded. So a lot of Geneva is going to have an influx of tourism, and it's going to hinder your travel. It's going to hinder your day-to-day operation. You're just going to have to take detours going around the city just to get to where you want to go, because there's going to be so much more tourism during those 3 seasons, the spring, summer, and fall. So just expect that. Traffic is definitely one thing in this area that we love about the area, because traffic is not terrible. It's really not bad until you get the seasonal tourism, and then it becomes a nightmare. And this is a big tourist area, but the infrastructure around here does not necessarily support the traffic from tourism. So just something to kind of expect if you're moving here. A lot of the locals, they just try to stay put. They try to kind of do their own thing during these 3 seasons, just because there is so much tourism going on. Rolling into the next pro, we're going to be talking about the education and institutions. So Geneva is home to Hobart and William Smith colleges. It's an amazing college up here in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region, and it contributes to a thriving atmosphere here in Geneva. Hobart is, one of the top schools in the state, and when you look at the alumni of Hobart William Smith, and you can absolutely tell that the education is amazing. Now, rolling right into a con of that is anywhere that you have a college campus, you're going to have an influx of college students, especially during the in-semester time periods. So with that, you have a much more vibrant college experience I'd say, in the city of Geneva. So you're talking about, populated bars. There's not really any clubs over there, but you're talking about, like, the restaurants are going to be more populated, and it's going to be college kids. It's not necessarily going to be families. It's going to be college kids. So I'm not making any judgments about college kids. I believe they have fun and, do whatever, and they're going to school, so that's great. But there's a lot of you that I know, you're going to look at a bar that has a bunch of college kids, and you're going to see fights. You're going to see, just stupidity, because college kids are college kids. And what I will say is that there are bars and restaurants that are going to be your go-tos for the college kids. So you're going to learn very quickly what places to avoid, and then what places you can go to when you're looking for somewhere that you want to bring the family to, or just yourself, a nice relaxing spot, right? You're going to learn that, hey, I'm not going to go to this bar at this time because it's going to be filled with college kids. If you like that type of atmosphere, then great. That's, those would be the places to go. But you'll learn very quickly where not to go if you don't like that. So while there is the pro of amazing education right here in Geneva, New York, very close by, it's literally right on 5 and 20. So it's very close. You can literally walk there from the city of Geneva to Hobart. The con is more college students, and there's a bunch of college housing. So if you're a real estate investor and you like rentals, right, you can get a bunch of rentals and rent to college students. That being said, I would recommend having some rules in place that they have to maintain the property, all this and that, etc. But college students are there. There's very good education, but on the bad side, there is a crazier kind of downtown experience in those semester time periods. So just something to keep in mind when you're moving to Geneva. It's just something to be cognizant of. You will get a lot more college students. Now, rolling right into the next pro of Geneva, New York, and I suppose this could be a con too, depending on where you're coming from, what kind of atmospheres you like, but Geneva is a very small town charm type community, right? It's a very tight-knit community. It's just the downtown area has a bunch of ma and pa stores and shops and local businesses and community centers, things like that. So everything's very tight-knit, and they focus on the sense of community and the safety of the town. And so what I will say is that because of the small town charm, historically speaking, Geneva, I know when I was growing up, Geneva had this reputation of being like the place you don't really want to go. It's just not like a great or charming place. But over the years, they've regentrified and reconstructed Geneva so that it's a beautiful and one of the most ideal places to go when you're in the Finger Lakes, or if you're choosing to live in the Finger Lakes. And the schools are amazing, and it's just Geneva has become one of the most popular areas in the Finger Lakes just because of this small town charm. And the city really has focused on regentrification and just revitalizing the city to be a safer, more ideal place to bring your family and your kids and spend time with friends and all this and that. So it's a slower lifestyle, but it is a very tight-knit community. And like I said, there's many community centers around there that basketball courts, tennis courts, things like that you can get out and play sports. And there's the high school right there. You can go use the football fields or the track or whatever you want to do. And so the community is just amazing. Now, on the flip side, with regentrification, you're talking about a lot of construction. So, it's not only the seasonal tourism that's going to hinder traffic or back up traffic, it's also the construction in the city. With any area that is being reconstructed or regentrified, you're going to be talking about construction, and you're going to be talking about rerouting your roadways. And so you definitely kind of have to plan out your traffic patterns, or wherever you're driving, right? You have to plan that, so you should know what areas are being constructed and what's being revitalized at the time, because that'll impact your daily drive to and from work. So touching on the aspect of work, it impacts, or traffic impacts that, because Geneva has a very limited job market. There's not a ton of like big business or corporate business, I guess, going on in Geneva. There are some manufacturing facilities that you can get into there that do great work, and they're big companies, they're great companies. But outside of those, the select few, you're going to be traveling to Rochester, or you're going to be traveling to maybe Canandaigua, or some of the outlying towns, just because Geneva just doesn't have that much as far as employment opportunity. I believe with the regentrification going on, there is more that is being offered now, and there will be more in the future. But as of right now, the time of this video, there's not a ton of job market opportunity out there. So, you will be looking somewhere else. If you're moving to the area, it's probably for the beauty, the proximity to the lake, maybe the schools, or maybe you have family there, or maybe your job is in one of those small manufacturing facilities that surrounds Geneva, right? But typically your bigger business, your employers that have thousands of employees, they're going to be in the outlying towns. They're not going to be in Geneva. And then just with any town in the Finger Lakes, you're going to be talking about the harsh weather, right? I don't need to really touch on that. On any other pros and cons video that we've done, we've touched on it. Geneva is no different. It gets snow. It gets a lot of snow. And it's going to be very similar to Canandaigua or Victor or Pittsford or Rochester, or really anywhere here in the Finger Lakes and Rochester regions. Probably won't get as much snow as Buffalo or Syracuse, but just being in the Finger Lakes, it's going to get snow. It's in the northeast, it's by the lakes, like, you're going to get snow. So focus on your snow tires or your all-season tires, and, kind of go on your way. And then hopefully you don't have rerouted traffic patterns in the winter, because that could get hairy as well. But winter is just one of those things that in the Finger Lakes and upstate region, you're going to be talking about all the time. So I won't harp on that too much. We're beating a dead horse at this point with the harsh weather. But it's something to note. If you're moving here from a warmer state, you do have harsh winters. Guys, that being said, I think Geneva is one of our favorite areas here in the Finger Lakes. And it's many locals' favorite area. Even if we don't live here or live in Geneva, we take some time to go spend time in Geneva, just because it is so beautiful. There is so much to do around there. And, there's really great restaurants and bars and breweries and wineries, and just the lake life is just amazing on Seneca Lake in Geneva. So I think with the regentrification, there's a lot of amazing opportunity going on. There's definitely some good small business opportunity happening there. I've got some friends who have opened businesses in Geneva, and they're thriving, right? There's a lot of small business going on actually. And, they're becoming a more fitness kind of oriented and wellness oriented. And, so they're focusing on health with their small business. So things like small gyms, or things like, spas and things like that, right? Because the small town and the lake life just offers this like serenity, if you will, this great atmosphere for those kind of things. Makes people want to go and take care of themselves. So it's pretty cool to see that regentrification going on in the revitalization of downtown Geneva. And it is just one of the locals' favorite places to go to when we're looking for something to do. It's hey, let's go to Geneva and let's go to the let's go on the boat, or let's go to a winery or a brewery, or let's go to the barbecue restaurant. You know, all sorts of different things that you can do there. So super popular area. I think it's definitely up and coming. If you want to see the area in depth, we did a vlog, one of our first videos on this channel. We did a vlog of Geneva, and maybe I'll do another one here soon. But you can definitely see it, you know, from boots on the ground in Geneva if you go and watch that vlog. So with that being said, guys, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching all the way through. This was the pros and the cons of living in Geneva, New York, and you know, there's definitely advantages and disadvantages just with any town or any city. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video on all things pertaining eating, breathing, sleeping, living, playing in the Finger Lakes and Rochester regions. And if you haven't already, that number and that email that's popping up on the bottom of your screen, be sure to give me a text, phone call, or email. I am the guy that answers those texts, phone calls, and emails. So I absolutely love doing that. And until the next video, see you guys.